into golf around, well, in 2022. My dad's side of the family, big golf family we have on this side. I did competitive cheerleading for 13 years. And my dad was like, "Oh, why don't you try golf? Why don't you try?" And he took me to the range a couple of years ago, and I was able to hit the ball, but I wasn't into it yet. Then COVID happened. There was nothing to do. So my dad got me golf clubs, and he said, "Let's go to the range." My mom and dad, they were like pushing me just to try. They weren't forcing anything on me because I feel like when you force something on a child, they don't want to do it. It kind of, when they really don't want to do it, I love the sport. So, but yeah, and then my mom was like, there's something there, like, I'm picking it up. So I got a coach. That was around 2022. Um, I've been working since then every day. In the beginning, when I first started, I was out practicing maybe 7 hours a day. Every day. It was just a schedule that I had, and I was just so committed to it, and I love the sport. But my mom and dad really are a big part of the reason why I did it.
It sounds like you have a insane work ethic with it as well. Is that something that you developed as you started playing? You mentioned training 7 hours a day. Or did you maybe have that work ethic with maybe school or something else that you kind of applied to golf? Where does that work ethic come from?
Definitely with golf, a lot of discipline with the schedule, so it kind of helped me now with my college and my athletic schedule. So a lot has to do with time management now, and that's really helped me because then you have academics and you have practice and all that. So you got to keep up with everything.
I want to get more into why you chose Kean. What about the golf program here at Kean was attractive for you?
I chose Kean because they have my major, my intended major, which is sports management. Something that I want to do because I do want to be something in the golf field. A lot of money's to be made behind the scenes. The pros on television, they're getting paid so much more, so a lot of money, but behind the scenes, there's really a lot that you can do with the sport. And something what I would want to do is start a business with it, which is another thing I can get into too later. I was supposed to play for a different school, and that fell through. So I was stuck at a school that I didn't want to go to in Staten Island. So um, I was just researching online, and I just saw Kean University, and I was like, okay, they have my major, and they have Division 3 golf. I was like, let me just email the coach and get myself in there as soon as I can. And I emailed him. I came to the school, met some of the players, fell in love with the school. I felt like the school had a very homey feeling. Like I felt this is where I belonged. So I was really excited to come here in September. I was waiting for August to come to start practicing with everybody.
What has that been like practicing with the team? Talk a little bit about.
Everybody's just,
Yeah.
it just feels like this is the right thing for me to. I just feel so like at home with everybody. Both teams get along very well. Haven't had a problem with that. I mean, everybody's great. The coaches are great. I love them. They're amazing. Very supportive of everything. So
You guys are unbeaten so far in head-to-head matchups this year. You guys placed second in the Albright Invitational. What has been the key to early season success that you've had as a collective unit, you think?
I think what plays a lot into it is how we bond as a team. I feel like we clicked very fast, and it's the way that we practice all the time. We always have a scheduled practice. So for an hour we'll do chipping and putting, and then we'll go hit balls on the range, and then it would rotate. Then we would go play 9 holes a couple of days when we have practice, and then it just rotates around. We've had that schedule since day one, so I really feel like the practicing really got us ready for these tournaments. So
Nice. And then individually, as a freshman so far, talk more about what that's been like coming from high school to college, being a student athlete, juggling academics and playing golf. What has that experience been like for you?
it's definitely different than high school. I mean, high school it really wasn't that serious. Like we didn't have a practice. Like maybe we had practice once a week, and we had 2 matches, which we only played like 5 holes, and we call it a day. Whoever's winning, we just call it. Um, but when you step into the whole college athlete thing, it's like a whole different world. You have to, like I said, time management. You have to manage your time, your assignments. You have to make sure you're on top of everything, and that's something that I really had to pick up quick on.
Who would you say is the funniest person? on the golf team? Is there anybody with a crazy sense of humor? Who you think's the funniest person?
Bridget.
Bridget? Okay.
Yeah, I could just laugh, just saying. I'm just like,
Documented. All right.
first time her and I spoke, it was just like, we've known each other for such a long time. We didn't know each other at all. You know, we just two peas in a pod, basically. You know.
That's so funny. So talk more about the golf business that you kind of brought up in the beginning. What are your plans with that? How has that been playing into your day to day?
In Staten Island, there's like an area. There's a lot of warehouses, like huge warehouses, and I've always seen it in other states. And I was just like, oh well, it's cold in the winter. You know, we can't play golf 365 days a year, just like they do in Florida. You know. So I was thinking of somehow buying that warehouse and making like an indoor practice area, like an indoor practice, like a driving range, you know. The ceilings are like what? Those big warehouses are like they're like 85 feet, right? So I wanted to make it like a driving range. There's targets around, and there's bunker area where you people hit out the sand. There's chipping and putting, and I was thinking people can actually buy a membership, you know, unlimited golf balls, you know, unlimited practice time. That's also a reasonable price for other people, you know, which makes people want to come in more and do it. But I know that's going to take time, but I mean, I already play golf, you know, it's something that I want to pursue as a career. I love it, you know, I have a passion for it. And I know that if I'm passionate about something, I'm going to be successful at it. And everyone says, well, you have to have a plan B. What if that doesn't work out? And I'm just like, there's no plan B. It's just that's the plan, you know, and it's going to happen, you know. But day-to-day life, I mean, school, I'm learning about how to manage, you know, how to manage golf and advertising and marketing and all that stuff. So the math and all that crazy stuff goes into that, you know, especially the golf. I mean, it's really, and to be a pro or anything, you need to have a major in sports management. You can't just have a major in anything else. You have to have it in sports management. And during the summer, I was teaching a clinic 2 days a week, so that really got me into the idea even more because I was teaching kids. I was also doing a summer camp Monday through Friday from 7 to 12, and kids could be a lot, you know. So I had a good summer with those kids, but yeah, I just love teaching them, you know. They wanted to learn, and I was happy because sometimes kids think it's boring, and then you try to make it fun. I make it fun. That's why they liked it. But yeah. Even when I go and volunteer at the professional tournaments, you can see how much money is being made. Not from the players, but their sponsors, their agencies, just their managing, you know?